I just think that's so cool. I love that. The term sporty electric car feels like quite a weird label, doesn't it? Because they're all sporty, really. I mean, the electric motor's instant torque means they just fly off the line, as demonstrated by the Tesla Model S when they did that scarcely believable 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. I mean, not everyone wants to travel at warp speed, though, do they? So a lot of manufacturers have pulled it back a little bit. I mean, they're still quick, but not so quick that you feel like you have to scrape your pets and your shopping off the rear windows when you arrive at your destination. But some people want to stand out from the crowd and very quietly win at those drag races at the traffic lights. And if that's you, well, enter the Kia EV6.
The EV6 is Kia's first purpose-built electric model. Everything Kia EV that's come before this has also been available with a petrol or hybrid powertrain. This gives the EV6 some key advantages, on paper at least, such as low centre of gravity for better handling and a flat floor to boost passenger and luggage space. There are currently 2 versions on offer in the UK, both of which come with a 77 kilowatt-hour battery. The entry-level rear-wheel drive version is fairly sporty with a 0 to 62 time of 7.3 seconds. It starts at just under £41,000. The all-wheel drive car gets to 62 mile an hour in a very sporty 5.2 seconds and is priced from 47 grand. And then there's the super sporty GT all-wheel drive, which will get you there in around 3.5 seconds, but that hasn't arrived in the UK yet. Whichever version you go for, you'll get the same pinched-nosed, flat-bottomed styling, certainly very distinctive. But is the interior just as eye-catching?
Well, here from the driver's seat, yes it is. Now the EV6's interior is centred around these 2 12.3-inch curved displays that look really sharp and really lovely, as is tradition. The one in front of the driver houses your driving information, your speed and your charging, etc. Whereas the one in the middle, that's the touchscreen one, so that has your media and your settings and your sat-nav, etc. Now, underneath the air vents is this very lovely touch-sensitive strip. Now, with a touch of a button, you can switch from audio to climate controls. See? Now, I know what you're thinking. I am not a fan of touch-sensitive climate controls. However, we have a nice handy little ledge here, very simple, very effective. Rest your wrist on it and everything's all nice and stable. Yep. Big fan of that. Now, in terms of materials, everything I think is quite in keeping with a over £40,000 car. I mean, you've got some gloss black, bit of chrome. It's all very lovely. Oh, and in keeping with the environmentally friendly side of things, the upholstery on the seats has the equivalent recycled material as 111 recycled plastic bottles. Just a fun little fact. Head-up display, very nice, and I have to show you this because this is really cool. Right, so when you put it into reverse and the reversing camera comes on, lovely, you found your space, you're all very happy. And then you go to drive off, and look at that. It shows you a full 3D image of the car. You can check your surroundings of the whole entire car. I just think that's so cool. I love that.
As standard, the rear-wheel drive version of the EV6 in Air trim comes with a generous amount of kit, including LED lights, 19-inch wheels, those heated artificial leather seats and dual-zone climate control. Stepping up through the range brings you things like wireless smartphone charging, a panoramic glass roof and a 14-speaker Meridian stereo. Full details are available on carbuyer.co.uk. There's also an interesting feature on the GT line trim. Vehicle to Load, or V2L, turns the EV6 into a giant battery charger on wheels. Items such as phones and laptops can be charged using a 3-pin socket located beneath one of the rear seats, or via an adapter connected to the charge port. I mean, you could power a 55-inch TV and air conditioner for around 24 hours, which could be handy in a power cut, or for off-grid camping.
So as soon as you sit back here, the first thing you'll notice is there is a flat floor. That's because there is no transmission tunnel that you would get in a petrol or a diesel. So if you've got 3 adults sat back here, you don't have to play footsie. It's all fine. And look at the amount of legroom. I am nowhere near the seats in front. Now this EV6 is very closely related to the Hyundai Ioniq 5, but this has more of a sporty profile. So it kind of eats into the headroom a little bit, but only a smidge. I mean, if you're going to have 6 for adults regularly in the back of your car, we'd recommend going for the Ioniq instead. But I'm 5'6". I'm very comfortable back here.
The boot holds a useful 490 litres with the rear seats in place. That's nearly 40 litres less than the Ioniq 5. But in the Kia, there's a variable height floor in the storage area, so you can prioritise outright space or a flat loading area. There are securing hooks for a floor net, but, as with the Ioniq 5, there's a lack of proper hooks to help keep shopping bags in place. Kia hasn't released figures for the boot capacity with the rear seats folded, but the backs are split 60-40 and sit almost flat when down. And there's no step in the boot floor with the floor in the right position, so you get to slide bulky objects straight in. Rear-wheel drive versions also get a 52-litre storage area under the bonnet that's ideal for keeping the cables. The all-wheel drive versions still get one, but it's a little bit smaller.
Now, the fact that the EV6 shares its underpinnings with the Hyundai Ioniq 5 bodes very well for Kia. That is because, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the Ioniq 5 won our Best Electric Family Car Award at our Carbuyer Car of the Year Awards 2022. But actually, this feels a lot sharper to drive. The suspension is really nicely set up, that it feels nice and controlled on rough roads and also on corners as well. I mean, steering got a nice little bit of weight to it. I've been enjoying actually driving around in eco mode. It's been quite nice and relaxing. I wouldn't recommend using sport mode all of the time because the extra oomph in the throttle and in the steering makes it feel a little bit unruly and a little bit manic. So maybe save sport mode for special occasions. Hey, it's a good idea. Now, the single motor rear wheel drive version has 226 brake horsepower, which should be more than enough for most people. But look, if you would like to treat yourself, then you go for the all-wheel drive version because that does 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. Thank you very much, lovely. Yeah, I'll take that, lovely. Yeah.
Opt for the rear-wheel drive version and the 77 kilowatt-hour battery gives you an official range of just under 330 miles. Choose the more powerful GT line with four-wheel drive and that falls to a still impressive 314 miles, or 300 miles for the GT line S with larger 20-inch alloy wheels. The best news is that these numbers are pretty realistic. We've seen 290 miles from our all-wheel drive test car. For comparison, the Tesla Model Y long range has a range of up to 315 miles but costs around £8,000 more. The biggest battery Cupra Born has a range of up to 335 miles. There's more good news when it comes to charging the Kia. Its 800-volt electrical architecture is the same that you'll find in a Porsche Taycan and provides speeds of up to 230 kilowatts if you can find a potent enough public charger. That means the battery can be charged from 0 to 80% in a mere 18 minutes, making long journeys from one end of the country and beyond no issue at all. Using a home 7 kilowatt wall box charger will take just under 10 hours for a 0 to 100% charge, all for around £12.50. The cherry on the cake is Kia's 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, which is still one of the best in the industry and can be transferred between owners. Right, let's have some deal makers and deal breakers for the Kia EV6. Every version has a great range, but 328 miles for the rear-wheel drive model is very impressive, and our real-world tests confirm the official figures are pretty accurate. If you can find one, a rapid charger will have you back on the road in the time it takes you to grab a snack and a coffee at the motorway services. The infotainment system is quick and easy to use. You get lots of equipment as standard. You can even top up your laptop from the car's charge port. The EV6 is designed to be sportier than its Hyundai sibling, and its ride is pretty firm, especially on 20-inch wheels. The Ioniq 5 is definitely more comfortable.
Oh, decisions. Here's the thing, right? Our current favourite family electric car, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, starts at £37,000. But that has a smaller battery that's not available in the Kia, so it's not a fair comparison. So if you were to buy a Hyundai with the same battery that's in the Kia, that's going to cost you an extra £1,000. I mean, I know you get extra boot space and better headroom, but you also get less range. I mean, in terms of performance, they're virtually the same. Fast charging abilities, they're virtually the same. Whichever one you choose, will come down to whether you want a comfortable family hatchback or something with sportier undertones with good practicality. Either way, they're both very impressive electric cars. Scrap that. They're both very impressive cars.
If you enjoyed this video, then why not watch our review of the Hyundai Ioniq 5 or our Family Cars playlist. Thanks for watching.